Genesis chapter 5 verses 21 through 24. Translation of Enoch. BC 1317. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. The accounts here run on for several generations without anything remarkable or any variation but of the names and numbers. But at length there comes in one that must not be passed over, so of whom special notice must be taken, and that is Enoch, the seventh from Adam. The rest, we may suppose, did virtuously, but he excelled them all, and was the brightest star of the patriarchal age. It is but little that is recorded concerning him, but this little is enough to make his name great, greater than the name of the other Enoch, who had a city called by his name. Here are two things concerning him. 1. His gracious conversation in this world, which is twice spoken of. Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah. And again, Enoch walked with God, verse 24, observe. 1. The nature of his religion and the scope and tenor of his conversation. He walked with God, which denotes true religion. What is godliness but walking with God? The ungodly and profane are without God in the world, they walk contrary to him. But the godly walk with God, which presupposes reconciliation to God, for two cannot walk together except they be agreed, and includes all the parts and instances of a godly, righteous, and sober life. To walk with God is to set God always before us and to act as those that are always under his eye. It is to live a life of communion with God, both in ordinances and providences. It is to make God's word our rule and his glory our end in all our actions. It is to make it our constant care and endeavor in everything to please God and nothing to offend him. It is to comply with his will, to concur with his designs, and to be workers together with him. It is to be followers of him as dear children. Eminent religion. He was entirely dead to this world and did not only walk after God, as all good men do, but he walked with God as if he were in heaven already. He lived above the rate not only of other men, but of other saints, not only good in bad times, but the best in good times. Activity in promoting religion among others. Executing the priest's office is called walking before God. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verses 30 through 35, and see Zechariah chapter 3 verse 7. Enoch, it should seem, was a priest of the Most High God, and like Noah, who is likewise said to walk with God, he was a preacher of righteousness and prophesied of Christ's second coming. Jude verse 14. Behold, the Lord cometh with his holy myriads. Now the Holy Spirit, instead of saying Enoch lived, says Enoch walked with God. For it is the life of a good man to walk with God. This was the business of Enoch's life, his constant care and work. While others lived to themselves and the world, he lived to God. It was the joy and support of his life. Communion with God was to him better than life itself. To me to live is Christ. Philippians chapter 1 verse 21. The date of his religion, it is said, he lived 65 years and begat Methuselah, but he walked with God after he begat Methuselah, which intimates that he did not begin to be eminent for piety till about that time. At first he walked, but as other men, great saints arrive at their eminence by degrees. The continuance of his religion, he walked with God 300 years, as long as he continued in this world. The hypocrite will not pray always, but the real saint that acts from a principle and makes religion his choice will persevere to the end and walk with God while he lives, as one that hopes to live forever with him. Psalms chapter 104 verse 33. 2. His glorious removal to a better world, as he did not live like the rest, so he did not die like the rest. He was not, for God took him. That is, as it is explained, he was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because God had translated him. Observe. When he was thus translated, what time of his life? It was when he had lived but 365 years, a year of years, which, as men's ages went then, was in the midst of his days, for there was none of the patriarchs before the flood that did not more than double that age. But why did God take him so soon? Surely, because the world, which had now grown corrupt, was not worthy of him, or because he was so much above the world and so weary of it, as to desire a speedy removal out of it, or because his work was done, and done the sooner for his minding it so closely note. God often takes those soonest whom he loves best, and the time they lose on earth is gained in heaven to their unspeakable advantage. What time of the world? It was when all the patriarchs mentioned in this chapter were living, except Adam, who died 57 years before, and Noah, who was born 69 years after. Those two had sensible confirmations to their faith other ways, but to all the rest who were or might have been witnesses of Enoch's translation, it was a sensible encouragement to their faith and hope concerning a future state. How his removal is expressed: he was not, for God took him. He was not any longer in this world. It was not the period of his being, but of his being here. He was not found, so the apostle explains it from the Lex. Not found by his friends who sought him as the sons of the prophets sought Elijah. Not found by his enemies, who, some think, were in quest of him, to put him to death in their rage against him for his eminent piety. It appears by his prophecy that there were then many ungodly sinners who spoke hard speeches, and probably did hard things too, against God's people. But God hid Enoch from them, not under heaven, but in heaven. God took him body and soul to himself in the heavenly paradise, by the ministry of angels, as afterwards he took Elijah. He was changed, as those saints will be that shall be found alive at Christ's second coming. Whenever a good man dies, God takes him, fetches him hence, and receives him to himself. The apostle adds concerning Enoch that, before his translation, he had this testimony, that he pleased God. And this was the good report he obtained. Note: walking with God pleases God. We cannot walk with God so as to please him, but by faith. God himself will put an honor upon those that by faith walk with him, so as to please him. He will own them now, and witness for them before angels and men at the great day. Those that have not this testimony before the translation, yet shall have it afterwards. Those whose conversation in the world is truly holy, shall find their removal out of it truly happy. Enoch's translation was not only an evidence to faith of the reality of a future state, and of the possibility of the bodies existing in glory in that state, but it was an encouragement to the hope of all that walk with God, that they shall be forever with him. Signal piety shall be crowned with signal honors.